Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Wiffle. My name is Nickens and I'm going to be talking to you today about our week in the Wiffle review. It's another great time for another great episode. And we're going to be, of course, going over what happened this week in MLW. We're going to be going over the preview for the Gators in Magic, as well as shouting out another league this week, which is going to be MAW, which is really exciting. Some of you have already commented some leagues you want me to check out and spotlight, so keep posting those down below. Those will be coming every single week, so make sure that you put a league that you want me to highlight and want me to talk about, and if it's your own or if it's anybody that you know, let me know and I will do that. So getting into it, let's talk about the Wildcats versus Cobras review. So if you haven't watched it, you have 3, 2, 1. All right. So the Wildcats won the series 2-1. I predicted that the Cobras would win 2-1. I wouldn't say I'm mad about how the way it went though, because I think I predicted kind of to see a little more out of the Cobras in terms of batting, and Wildcats pitching were on point. I mean, Kyle looked absolutely amazing. It was very clear from the get-go that, of course, the Wildcats are going to come in prepared and studied. And I thought, I said they usually start pretty well. And I was right. They started really well. First pitch of the day for Kyle Schultz. Saw Barron, took it yard. They scored 2 runs off Barron in both games, which is still pretty good, I think, for them doing all that studying, figuring out his arm angles. But Cobra still hung in there. Barron still hung around after that bomb, and then getting up another run. And Drew had a bomb to break it back. But again, it wasn't a really good showing from the Cobras hitting. Flynn went 0 for 3. Brendan went 0 for 3. Bean went 1 for 4. And Drew Davis was the only spotlight with 2. He went 2 for 2 with 2 walks, which is a really, really good showing. And if Drew leaves, it's not great for the Cobs, because looking at that production, it's not going to look good, and this could be a rough season if that kind of continues, if they continue to face really good pitchers. On the other side, I want to say that Nick really looked a little sluggish today. Not that he's not a great player. It just didn't seem like he ever really got into a good rhythm. I think Brendan really had him really good, and it's lucky for the Wildcats that they had Kyle, who was stepping back up this year, but also Jackson Pearson and Ty Smith looked really, really good. Getting into this next game, Drew had an amazing game again. He went 1 for 4 with the 2 RBIs. Everybody else had a run but had 0 hits. And the Cobras got 5 runs off 0 hits. And I think that's the big takeaway, is that Jackson started slowing down towards the end. Nick couldn't really put him away. And so Cobras kind of got lucky on this one, I would say. Again, not a lot of great hitting. Sawyer Bean looked really good, only 2 hits and 2 earned runs. So not bad. And again, Jackson was able to get 3 walks, and Ty Smith got a couple walks, but Nick Saylor 0 for 4, and Kyle with the only 2 hits for the team. I mean, again, more of the same from last game, and man, I don't really know what to say that Nick started off this slow. I think he can pick it up. I think that just shows the Cobras' prowess on the mound. But I mean, it seems like both of these guys are going to have to get the bats going in order to win games. And you know what? The Wildcats did in Game 2, and the Cobras, couldn't really get anything going. Again, kind of an individual home run by Flynn, but the Wildcats had 2, one with Pearson and one with Smith from the 3 and 4 hole. I mean, that's what you need to win games now. I think that Jack Agner said it really well on the podcast, that this doesn't give an opportunity for teams to lose. Like, no one's going to lose because of the 4-man rule, but you are going to have more opportunities to win. And yes, it's a con that Kyle Schultz doesn't get as many hits, but man, Ty Smith stepped up, and I think we get to see more players like him step up. Again, Sean Flynn with the only hit for the Cobras. And in terms of batting, like I was really expecting a lot more. Did they not have Andy Durand? Yes. But Brendan Baranowski's got to step it up at the plate. Sawyer's got to step it up at the plate. I think that these guys have a lot of talent and are able to see Kyle. I mean, these guys have been playing Kyle for a long time, and they kind of put up a donut, And I think I love the Cobras. I have a hat, but it doesn't show great for the upcoming season that we have. Drew Davis is the only one in the top 3 with 375, and the rest of them are zero average. But Bean has a 100 average, and Sean Flynn has a 143. That's not going to do good. Drew Davis leads the league in ops, which is really awesome. That's good to see. The rest of the Cobras not looking too well except for Sean. Sean did get a lot of walks. And overall, the Cobras have to do a lot better from the batting standpoint. Really not much to say. Wildcats are scary because Kyle's looking really good this year. Now, the problem is that they're having a little trouble with the 2. I think Nick Saylor's being figured out a lot more. Jackson's still kind of coming into his own about his pitching, still working on that. He looked really good up until the point where he started losing it, started throwing balls. And I think that's going to be interesting to see how that works for the rest of the year. Is the Wildcats going to have a solid number 2? Because I think you need that. I think if the Cobras keep only allowing their teams to only have 2 runs a game, like if they're averaging only giving up 2 runs a game, I think they can win games if they bring up their batting. The Wildcats may go into a series, and if their number 2 guy, whether it's Nick or Jackson, they don't pick it up. I mean, that's a game they're losing every time. That's a higher likelihood that they're going to lose. However, if the Cobras have got to be able to bat as well, and I think I felt really good about the Wildcats coming out of this series though than I did the Cobras. I have a lot more questions about what's going to happen this season for the Cobras than I am the Wildcats. I think Wildcats look really solid, especially if Kyle continues to pitch the way he is. In terms of what we're looking for towards pitching, Kyle Schultz now with 2 games played is second in the league in ERA with a 1.0. And Sawyer Bean and Brendan Baranowski both have 2.0 ERAs, so not bad. That gives them kind of in the top half of the league. Jackson Pearson with a 4.50 and Nick with a 6.0. Again, they didn't get to pitch too much, so I'm expecting this to come down. But overall, I think it was a good start to the season for both teams in terms of, Cobras are playing a tough team in the Wildcats. Wildcats playing a pretty solid pitching squad in the Cobras, and I think these teams have a lot of potential, and they definitely you definitely need to win every game that comes your way. So not getting swept was huge for the Cobras. Getting that game 2, and Wildcats are looking really solid. I think you really scared to probably play them right now with all this momentum that they're having. So next thing we got to address, of course, is the Gators versus Magic. This is a rivalry game. These squads have a lot of question marks coming into the season. The Gators did not end last season on a good note. The Magic didn't either. But the Magic traded away Jason Chadwick, got 2 draft picks, and drafted 2 potential stars. And EJ Wall, drafted 2 potential stars in Grant Miller and EJ. Both these guys, unproven in MLW. EJ has done it in the under 14. He's an athlete. He's huge. I mean, he's got a lot of potential. Grant Miller is a guy who's been proven it everywhere else. This guy is a stud in the KZoo League and MAW. So many leagues he plays in. He's kind of this all-around guy. And so he can do it all. I mean, this guy is a star. And so there's a lot of question marks coming in. I'm looking forward to seeing this game. The Gators have 2 really great pitchers now in Jason Chadwick and Chris Cheatham. They just really need to pick up the bats and pick up the consistency. They're just a little inconsistent, and that's why you see kind of these varying results where they're beat some teams and then go down a hole in the other. They got to keep it consistent, and I think they can do that. I think they can definitely do that. They also got Reese in the back, so I think they've got the team. They just need to put it together and have a good season. I think I'm going to pick the Magic 2-1. I think that they have all the momentum. There's not really a lot of film on them. Gators not going to really be able to prepare. Whereas the Magic, they got film on the Gators. They're going to be able to prepare. So I'm going to have the Magic 2-1. I think that's just the advantage of coming in with rookies, but who are not really rookies. So yeah, I think Grant Miller, Rookie of the Year candidate probably, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think this is going to be an interesting game, and I think it's going to do. I think it's going to do some numbers. I think this is probably going to be the most interesting, base sort of. I think it's going to be the most watched MLW game for a little bit because of just wanting to see these new guys, seeing these new players. So yeah. Plus the rivalry. The rivalry is going to be awesome to see. I hope to see some trash talk. I know Chris loves to chirp. Brandon loves to chirp. I mean, those guys. Jason loves to chirp. I love their energy, and I'm very excited to see what happens. So today I have something for y'all that is really fun. This is MAW. This is the MAW League highlights from the MAW opening day. Wiff Inc. versus ERL. If you don't know anything about these teams, Wiff Inc. has been playing in the MAW for a long time. ERL has this guy named Connor Young, who I'm going to be highlighting, but they also have Jordan Robles. So this is a team that Jordan plays on, throughout the year, and you guys just have to see. So right here, beautiful screwball from Dan Whitener. Again, riser. I mean, this is a fast pitch league, obviously. And these guys, the ball moves so quick. Here you can see Dan going up against Robles. And, I mean, that's a hard pitch to locate right on the inside top corner. Then you got another riser bending down and coming up. So tough. Oh, so disgusting. Just, this guy is pumping riders. Connor Young pumping risers right into the zone. The screwball kind of changed right there. So hard to hit. Screwball into the zone. I mean, these guys go at it. This is all, I'm only showing you like maybe a minute of this. But these guys go on for about 7 minutes, a few innings. I mean, it is so tough to hit. If I ever throw a riser, that's the way I want to throw my riser. Just that kind of air bounce. It just goes down, comes back up right at the end. I mean, so hard to hit. So much spin on the ball. Dan with another beautiful riser, hitting that bottom of the zone. Right in the middle. Just, here he's lining up for another riser. Yep. I mean, so tough to hit. These guys playing all year. There's also some wonderful games you can see from the other teams. In fact, 80.4 is a team that plays in this league, and they're full of MLW guys like Caden Irwin. Some of the other guys are over there, Matt Carlington. So you can see some really, really awesome games, some really competitive wiffle ball. Some of these guys look so good. I mean, maybe even potentially, get into the league. They do play fast pitch though, so it may be tough for them to slow down. But yeah, let me guys know what you think of MAW in the comments. Have you ever heard of them? Do you guys watch them? And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one with some more MLW review. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.